Hey guys, it's Brian, and we're doing a video response to our friend Jeff over at Would Be Car Modeler. First of all, I want to say that Jeff, you, sir, are an excellent model builder. I also enjoy watching your channel very, very much, and always look forward to your next postings. So I do believe that you're a little bit hard on yourself. Your skill level is improving, of course, over time. And I got to tell you, from what you've been posting on YouTube, even though you've only done a handful of builds, I have trash bins of builds that didn't turn out a quarter as good as what you're doing, sir. So don't be so hard on yourself. And it is a process, and we have to go through the process of learning that skill. So, and the thing about model building is there are many skills to be mastered while doing this. So, in response to your question, we're talking about stashes versus collections and kind of what that means to us. And I decided what we'll do is I'll just kind of show you my stash and kind of talk about the way I feel about that. So, in the past, many years ago, when I was still living at home in California, and I was working night shifts at a place that did video duplication. We did duplications of video cassettes. So it was a one-to-one process, meaning if you had a 60-minute tape and you wanted 200 copies of that, we could do the 200 copies, but it would take us 60 minutes to do it. So we had a lot of downtime. And then on the night shift, I had a partner, and his name was Andres Flores. And I'll never forget Andres because he was an immigrant from Guatemala. And I think it would be safe for me to say that he was the first person I've ever met in my life that was somebody who came to the United States in search of a better life. So it was very interesting for me to get a perspective from him and talk about his home life and where he came from and what he left behind to come to America and everything. And it could be very emotional for him. But he didn't speak much English at first, and I didn't speak much Spanish, so we had a little bit of a language barrier. But after we kind of figured out how to communicate, I helped him with his English. He helped me with my Spanish because I told him that I was planning to move to Arizona, and he wanted to know what kind of phrases and stuff I needed to learn. And I remember telling him, so the most important thing I would need to learn is, does this have cheese in it, and where's the bathroom? So it's come in handy in the past, I tell you what. But there's Mrs. BGZG right there, just chilling. But once we were able to start communicating better and everything, we started talking about common interests, and that's where model building came in. And as it turned out, back home in Guatemala, he was a champion model builder. He went to many shows all over the region, in the Central America region, and all the IPMS shows and stuff that were there, him and his dad. And he said that his dad was so well known that when he would show up to a show, sometimes other builders would pull their stuff off the table. And they're like, nope, I'm not going up against Senor Flores because he is the best. He had rooms full of awards, and Andres had shared photographs and stuff of some of the builds and the displays they had done, and they had a big barn out on their property where they did all their building and stuff. And on the wall, one of the super tall walls, they had all the airplanes that his dad had built on display there, hanging like trophies themselves. But I remember talking to Andres, and after he became a natural citizen, he insisted that I call him Andy. So I thought that was kind of funny. So after I got to know Andy a little bit better, we were talking about models and stuff, and one day I happened to share a story that I was at a hobby shop earlier that day, and I happened to see something. I even have stuff tucked way back in there. I shared a story about how I had seen something on the shelf and I thought it was cool, but I didn't buy it because I thought it might cost too much. And he kind of stopped me right there, and he was like, listen, if you see something on the shelf, you buy it and just set it aside. And I said, well, I can't justify spending, I guess, $30 at the time, which was, some money then. But I can't justify spending $30 on something that we're just going to sit on the shelf or in a closet for months and months until I get it. So I finally get around to actually building it. And he said, no, you don't understand. As a model builder, you'll need to build a stash for a couple of reasons. One, if you decide to come back and build that kit and you didn't buy it at that time, then you're going to really hate yourself for missing out on that opportunity because, as he put it, it's going to cost you many monies later to come back and buy that again. And I was like, you know, that's kind of true, because that was back in the very infancy of eBay, and people were asking stupid money for all kinds of stuff even back then. And I was like, he's like, you know, if you buy something for $30 today, yeah, you're out your $30, but it's so much better than the twice as much as it's going to cost you on eBay plus shipping and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, you know, dude's got a point. And he also said, another thing about having a stash is maybe you have an idea for a build, so you want to you want to have the wheels and tires off of something, or the engines off of something, or the bombs and missiles off of something else to put on this other thing. So he's like, the kit bashing that can go on with a stash opens up your possibilities for the types of builds you want to do. That would just be something you wouldn't have been able to do in the past. And I was like, that is some excellent advice, you know. Another bit of advice that he gave me when I was first getting restarted in the hobby was, you have to learn how to sand, because in his words, if you don't know how to sand, nothing you build will look good. He's not wrong. I mean, I've gone back on things and been like, well, this doesn't fit very well. Oh, it's because I didn't sand it quite right. It's rounded over on the corners, or this was supposed to be square and it's not square anymore. But yeah, some awesome advice on his part that I've always taken to heart and kept with me. He said there's like two different kinds of model builders out there. There's the guys that buy stuff and have a stash, kind of like what we have here. And then there are guys that buy stuff and hoard it away and have collections, as he put it. He says those are the people that say, this is my precious, you know, because that's back when the Lord of the Rings movie came out. He's like, this is my precious. This is a thing that I will never give up. This is something that I will have hidden away forever, and nobody will ever see it or touch it again. And, you know, I'm being dramatic, but I'm paraphrasing kind of like what he was saying. And I kind of got what he was talking about. Now, in our stash, we have small groupings of things that are referred to as collections, because this is my Batmobile collection, because it's a bunch of different manufacturers, but it's all the same type of thing. So it's all Batmobiles from different movies and in different genres, but they're all by different manufacturers. So I have this little collection of them grouped together. Down a little bit lower here, we have a little collection of stuff right here, because this is all what I call my nostalgia builds. Builds I had tried in the past as a kid, didn't do the kit any justice, and I decided that I would rebuy the, you know, find the kit, a modern version of the kit or whatever, and then try and build it with the skill level that I have now and see if I can do the kit justice. So that's like a little collection that I have in the stash. And then over here, I just sort of have like a grouping of all of my little Mopar stuff from Revell. I think Revell does a good job with the Mopar stuff. But then I also have the monogram area. So, you know, it's like a collection of monogram stuff that's just all kind of grouped together, because I'm a monogram fan, you know. Now, just a second, I want to go to the desk here. So here at the desk, we have a group of NPCs and AMT kits that are a little bit more on the vintage side than anything else that I have. And yes, we have another Thomas Flyer. So all of these guys here are intended to be built. And yeah, even this guy, you know, I think we all have one of these, right? But like, they're a little bit older. Some of the decals are junk, or like this guy here, I'm missing some parts. This guy up here, the kit's a little iffy, you know, kind of brittle or whatever. So stuff that I intend to get to, but it's more of a vintage thing. Getting replacement decals or parts for these type of things will be a little bit more difficult. So they're back burner type of things. The only kit that I have in my stash that I know I'm not going to intend to build is this guy. This is an older kit. I think this is technically the oldest kit that I have in my stash, and it's the only kit that I don't intend to build because it's a survivor. It came from way back when, and it's lived its life in this box. And some guys say, well, we need to save that and build it type of thing, and I'm of the school of, I don't know if I want to. Of all the stuff I have, this is the only one that I don't really want to build. I just like having a vintage kit in its original box from way back when. I think this was like the second reissue of this, maybe. So I'm not exactly sure when that came out. And yeah, I could go on ScaleMates and find out, but I'd always forget about that. But yeah, that's the only kit that I have a collection. You know, I have a collection of I'm not really collecting it, but I'm curating it, or whatever you want to call it. Something I have set aside that I don't actually intend to build. I don't have hordes of things. I don't hoard things. Everything that we have here is, I'm going to turn, oh, that's my new chair. Like I have some stuff on the floor here that I intend to sell at some point. We don't have shows anymore, so it's kind of hard to sell stuff, and I don't want to do eBay stuff anymore. That's just painful. But yeah, I mean, I have my Tamiya stuff. I want to build all of those. I have my MPCs here. I want to build all of those. I have my Oshimas and my Italaries. I want to build those. I'm set for the next 15 or 20 Bandai group builds that Papa Dan wants to host. And then up above here, we've got more Hasegawas and Fujimis, and then all of our AMT stuff at the top there. And this, I would say, is a fluid situation here. Everything here is ebbs and flows. There's additions and subtractions that are going on here. I think a collection only grows. This is a stash. Stuff gets built out of it, stuff gets added to it, stuff gets sold or given away out of it for a group, you know, like when we do like a subscriber giveaway or something like that. So stuff comes out of here for that stuff. Nothing in here is 100% sacred or something that I won't part with, except for that. That's the one thing that's sticking around, no matter what happens. But I mean, there's very, very few things in here that I wouldn't part with at some point or other. So if something was to happen to me and we needed to make some cash, this stuff would go. If something happened to Linda, we had to make some cash, this stuff would go. So, is it an investment? Not by any means, because I probably will get back 80% of what I paid for this stuff, so it doesn't really matter to me. But in the long run, I mean, it's just plastic, right? It's nice to have, it's fun to have, it's fun to go look at. I love building it, but in the long run, it's just plastic. So hoarding it and collecting it and all that kind of stuff, I don't really see the need for it. We definitely don't have the space. I'm maxed out. That's why the stash ebbs and flows, because we're maxed out for space right now. All right, Jeff, I really hope this answers your question for you, sir. Again, we enjoy watching your channel, and we'll look forward to more future updates on everything that you're working on. And everybody have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you later on. Bye now.